Hey guys, today we are going to look at US foreign policy during the Cold War. So, this means how did the US interact with the rest of the world at this time? So, like we've noticed, our big focus at this time was on communism. And because the US did not trust the Soviet Union, which at this time was still led by Stalin, President Truman's advisors gave him three main choices to slow the spread of communism and the rise of Stalin's power. The first was isolationism. This meant that the US would cut itself off from the rest of the world, ignore other countries, and just mind our own business. Does isolationism sound like a good or a bad idea? Why? The next idea was containment. In this idea, the United States would let communism exist in countries like Russia and China, where it already existed, but we would not let it spread to new countries like Korea or Vietnam. Does containment sound like a good or a bad idea? Why? The final option was rollback. Under rollback, the US would use its army to eradicate communism from the world. So the US would go into every country that had communism and get rid of it. This would include places like Russia and China. Does rollback sound like a good or a bad idea? Why? Which option would you have chosen if you were President Truman? Would you choose isolation, to just have the US mind its own business and not worry about communism in other countries? Would you choose containment, so let communism exist where it exists right now, but not let it spread any further? Or would you choose rollback, so use the US Army to invade every single country that had communism and keep fighting until it was gone? So, President Truman went with containment. So he said that the US would not use its army to fight communism in places like Russia or China where it already existed, but they would use their money and sometimes their army to stop it from spreading to new countries. Do you think President Truman made the right decision? Why or why not?